return to that situation in Syria now, and those fears that a plan for peace could be close to unravelling before it's even started. Let's talk to Middle East analyst Nabila Ramdani here in the studio. Always good to see you. I mean, there is an argument here, isn't there, to say that actually neither side really wants this peace plan to kick off?
I would disagree. I think the rebel forces certainly would want a truce to be introduced that would precede any negotiations. And what is abundantly clear is that President Assad, by putting new demands, just 48 hours before the deadline for him to withdraw from cities and town, to the rebel forces, asking them to end their attacks, he's effectively asking them to surrender. And saying that they would give up fighting him, essentially. President Assad is also aware that a truce could mean that people could rise up again, which would make it harder for him to contain any demonstrations. It's very clear also that this is yet again a new ploy for Assad to buy time for himself and to effectively reject the peace plan. And he feels that he's very much in the driving seat now.
Isn't there, though, an argument to say, if we're looking at this from an absolutely non-compassionate point of view, if Assad is saying, I want a written agreement that you're not going to keep fighting, that you're not going to move into positions that his troops vacate, that I mean, from his perspective, is a sensible proposal?
It would be if his tanks were not still rolling on the streets across the city, if mortar rounds were not still, shelled, if attacks were not still carried out on cities and towns, and if, as a result, thousands of people were not fleeing the country, going to neighbouring countries like Lebanon and indeed Turkey. So it's very, very clear that you cannot, on the one hand, express the fact that you seem to be genuine about a peace plan, but at the same time continue to suppress dissent.
You say Bashar al-Assad sees himself very much in the driving seat. Is that partly down to it is a very clear reality, isn't it, that despite the pressure from the international community and this UN Arab League peace plan, there is still this desperate reluctance from the international community to in any way get properly involved in this?
Very much so. I don't think there is any appetite to intervene militarily, as we've seen in Libya, because the situation of Syria is much more complex. And I think when you hear Western governments blame Russia and China for posing the vetoes to any solution to this crisis, there's more to it. There's also an awareness that any sort of forceful intervention could have international ramifications in the region. Also, you have to bear in mind the fact that the opposition is very much fractured, both at home and abroad, the Syrian opposition. And within the Arab League itself, there is a unity in the sense that people are seeking to try and stop the violence, but there are disagreements over how to do it.
Okay, Nabila, for now, thank you.